Joining us now is Sara Azari. She's a criminal defense attorney. Sara, as we just heard, there's lots of finger pointing about who is to blame. Two concert goers who are taking legal action tell CNN this.
Did you think you were going to make it out of there alive, Brian?
I had a 50-50 chance. It was either me living or either dying. At one point, I thought I wasn't going to make it.
And Jonathan, you know, you guys are obviously Travis Scott fans. How much do you hold him responsible?
Completely responsible, sir. You have the biggest microphone out of everybody, and I just think it's crazy how poorly it was set up.
Scott's attorney says Scott did not have the authority to stop the show, but Scott did have the microphone, and he didn't stop the concert. Does that expose him to liability?
Hi, Anna. Yeah, you know, this just turns on foreseeability, right? And where there's foreseeability, there is prevention, and there's a duty to take all precautions to try to prevent the calamity from happening. First of all, this was not a Bocelli concert. This was a Travis Scott concert. That inherently tells you that there's going to be chaos. That is what he's known for. He's had a pattern and a history. In 2019, there were injuries and hospitalizations out of the same event, Astroworld. Then in 2017 and 15, he actually faced criminal charges for inciting violence at his concerts. So it's not just that he should have known, it's that he knew, and his promoters and producers also knew. And then second, Anna, is the idea that, you know, the promoters and the producers failed in their duties to set up the premises in a way that was safe, right? They had apparently tents with highly sought after merchandise very close to the front of the venue as opposed to kind of spreading it out. And so there was this surge moving towards the stage, which then causes calamity. Thirdly, the police have some liability here. They can point the finger all they want, but ultimately their duty is to step in when there's a 40-minute emergency underway and do their job. Their job is to protect and to serve. According to some reports by TMZ, there were at least 2 officers kind of having fun and taping the concert on their phone while the casualties were going on behind them. Those officers have to secure a vantage point that allows them to do their job, which is to protect everybody's safety. So the police absolutely have a duty, because maybe, as your reporter said, the original plan was for the operators and producers to stop the show. But at some point, their duty is to step in and stop the show when something like this is going on.
And to that point, Scott's attorney had referenced a past show in 2019 in which Houston police stepped in to end a show that went long, suggesting they could have done more in this case. Right now, though, the Houston police chief is rejecting calls for an outside investigation into what happened. Sara, do you think an independent investigation is important here, especially with all the finger pointing?
100%. You know, in a lawsuit of this magnitude, you're going to have a bevy of defendants. You're going to have the police. You're going to have the promoters, Live Nation, the entertainment company, Travis Scott, potentially Drake. All of these individuals will have some liability. You know, liability is not exclusive and belonging to one person or entity. And so then the process of discovery and investigation will come into play to find out exactly who had what duty and what they failed to do. And then there's a percentage of liability that will be attributed to each of these individuals or entities. And at the end of the day, the question is there enough money or deep pocket to pay for all these lost lives and injuries, and also the bystanders who went there to have a good time and then witness the most traumatic event of their lifetime? So there's a $26 million policy. That clearly is not enough. And then that raises the question of whether these companies and Travis and all these individuals could potentially personally have liability beyond what the insurance covers.
And we're still waiting to learn exactly what caused the death of those 8 people and the 2 people who are still in critical condition right now in the hospital. Sara Azari, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Anna.